If you woke up tomorrow in a different body, looking at hands that weren't yours and hearing a voice you didn't recognize, would you still be you?
Or is your identity so deeply woven into your flesh, your hormones, and your gut that a brain in a new vessel would eventually become a stranger to itself?
We like to think of the brain as the pilot and the body as the machine. But the truth is far more haunting. If we switched human brains between two bodies, we might not just be swapping lives, we might be shattering the very definition of a soul. Welcome to Deep Science Explained. Today, we are venturing into the ultimate frontier of medical ethics and neurobiology. In a world where we can transplant hearts, lungs, and even faces, the final boundary remains the 3-pound lump of gray matter between your ears. As we move deeper into 2026, the mystery of the universe is no longer just out there among the stars. It's right here in the terrifying possibility of the human head transplant. In the next few minutes, we will explore the gruesome history of these experiments, the Frankenstein physics of reattaching a spinal cord, and the mind-bending psychological fallout of waking up in someone else's skin. Is immortality just a body swap away? Or is the brain-body connection a knot that science can never untie? To understand the weight of this, we have to look at the hardware. Your brain is connected to your body via the spinal cord, a dense highway of millions of nerve fibers. If you cut that highway, the message stops forever. Or so we thought. But here's where it gets crazy. In the 1970s, Dr. Robert White successfully transplanted the head of one monkey onto the body of another. The monkey woke up. It could see, it could hear, and it even tried to bite a doctor. But it was paralyzed from the neck down because we couldn't fuse the nerves. It lived for 9 days, 9 days of being a prisoner in a foreign cage. Science explains simply, the problem isn't just plumbing. It's not just about connecting arteries and veins. It's about biological glue. Today, researchers are looking at polyethylene glycol, a chemical that can actually encourage nerve cells to fuse back together. Imagine 2 broken ends of a fiber optic cable. If you just tape them together, the light doesn't pass. You need to melt them, to merge them at a molecular level. This is the deep science of fusogens. But even if we perfectly reconnect the nerves, we face a greater enemy. The body-brain mismatch. Did you know that your brain is constantly receiving a status report from your body? Every second, your gut, your heart, and your skin are sending signals that tell your brain what being alive feels like. This is called interoception. Your brain is essentially a prediction engine that has spent your entire life learning the specific language of your original body. If you suddenly plug that brain into a body with a different heart rate, different hormone levels, and a different center of gravity, the result wouldn't just be confusion. It would be a psychological rejection, so violent it could lead to instant insanity. Imagine your consciousness as a high-end software program designed specifically for one type of computer. If you try to run that software on a completely different architecture without an emulator, the system crashes. Your brain wouldn't recognize the signals coming from the new gut. It wouldn't know how to interpret the new body's adrenaline spikes. Deep Science Explained fans, think about the trauma of phantom limb syndrome, where people feel pain in an arm that isn't there. Now imagine phantom body syndrome, where your brain feels like it's floating in a void because nothing about its new vessel feels right. This brings us to the big discovery. We used to think the brain was the boss and the body was the employee. But modern quantum mechanics and neurobiology are hinting at something deeper: embodied cognition. This theory suggests that your self isn't just in your head. Your thoughts are actually shaped by the way your body moves through space.
If you have a taller body, your perspective on the world changes. If you have a stronger body, your confidence levels shift. By swapping bodies, you aren't just changing your clothes, you are fundamentally altering the way you think. As the philosopher Maurice Merleau-Ponty once said, the body is our general medium for having a world. If the medium changes, the world changes.
This is the emotional peak of our journey. If we swapped the brains of a young athlete and an elderly scholar, the scholar's brain would suddenly be flooded with the testosterone and energy of a 20-year-old. Would they remain a quiet, reflective thinker? Or would the chemical weather of the new body turn them into someone unrecognizable? We are not just our memories. We are the chemical soup we sit in. But here's where it gets even stranger. What about the microbiome transfer? Your gut contains millions of neurons, the second brain. These bacteria influence your mood, your cravings, and even your personality. In a brain swap, you leave your gut behind. You wake up with someone else's cravings, someone else's predispositions for anxiety or joy. You might remember loving the taste of coffee, but your new body's gut tells your brain it's poison. The conflict between the memory self and the physical self would be a war with no winner. What if the mystery of the universe is that we are actually a dual system?
Some researchers suggest that memory isn't just stored in the brain, but in the epigenetic signatures of our cells. If you take a brain from body A and put it in body B might still hold muscle memories of its previous owner.
There are haunting accounts from heart transplant recipients who suddenly developed a love for classical music or a craving for foods they previously hated, the exact preferences of their donors. This is cellular memory, and in a brain swap, it would be the ultimate ghost in the machine.
So, why would we ever do this? The drive is, as always, the fear of death. If your body is failing, but your brain is healthy, a swap is the ultimate life extension.
It is the secular version of reincarnation. But at what cost? We would be creating a world where the wealthy could buy new bodies, leading to a dark market of biological harvesting that makes sci-fi horror look like a bedtime story.
Deep Science Explained has to ask, if we achieve immortality through body swapping, are we still human, or have we become a collection of spare parts? If you could switch bodies, you would eventually realize that you are a collaborative effort. You are a conversation between your neurons and your skin, your memories and your microbes. But here is the final, reflective twist. If your brain eventually adapts to the new body, if it learns the new language of the new gut and the new heart, did the old you actually die?
What if reality itself isn't what we think? What if the self is just a story the brain tells to make sense of the body it's currently in? If that's true, then you aren't a person at all. You are a process, a flame that can be moved from one candle to another. And if the flame can move, then the vessel never really mattered. We spend our lives obsessed with our reflection. But perhaps the deep science truth is that the mirror is the only thing that's real.
I'm your host, and this has been Deep Science Explained. If this journey into the Frankenstein future made you appreciate your own skin a little more, hit the like button and subscribe.
The universe is full of mysteries, but the one staring back at you in the mirror might be the greatest one of all. In our next episode, we'll uncover something even stranger, the Chimera Project, how scientists are growing human organs inside animals, and the day we might finally blur the line between species.